So what do you guys, what's been going on? Like, I mean, obviously everybody's been hit financially in terms of just, and I don't know what, everybody's probably a different place on this, but how have you been able to kind of like manage, I mean, what other things you're doing for income, for revenue? I mean, obviously you guys on the live streams, people are tipping, but I don't know what that equates to with actual shows and gigs and things like that. But also you may be saving money, not going out on the road and, paying for gas and all these things. So what are some of the other things you've been doing to survive as an artist in a sense?
I have an Airbnb, so that's definitely been great, and it's a blessing to have that income.
But Airbnb's also been hit, right?
It has, but it's starting to trickle in.
Okay.
Yeah, and I had March that was already booked up, and that was great. But April was a hard month, May was a hard month, but June's starting to pick up. But yeah, I mean, the Facebook Lives, I thought that, after the first couple, I'm like, this is amazing, but the third and fourth aren't gonna, and they've actually been pretty consistent.
Good.
Well, I'm just continuing like the live streams as well, and just like using whatever audience exists, and keeping them entertained. But like my other job as a music journalist has always been a work from home gig. A thing that I began doing in 2005 with the intention of getting it to the place where it is, where I could do it from wherever, because I knew that I needed another, geographically gig in order to be able to like tour with my band and like pay the guys and like not like totally be bankrupt if we had a hard tour, and we have hard tours all the time. And so I've been okay. I've been working all pandemic. The music continues to come out, and people need press releases and bios and articles written, so I keep doing this.
Good.
I need to use you for my next record.
You absolutely do. Use me.
Use you.
Here's what I think. I've been thinking about what will kind of save the independent artist and what will sustain us, and I think it's the house show market.
Yeah.
I think everyone here is I know Steve's a big house show guy. I don't know if you are, and I don't know if you are, Amy, but
she is.
It's been an incredible thing. We all get burnt out on the house show things, and the club shows and arenas are, of course, what we want to be doing. But I think the house show market.
Hard to disagree, but go on.
the house show market is I think moving forward going to be where people feel a little safer, and the hosts can decide how intimate they want the shows to be, and people that go to house shows support artists. They're the people that are throwing money at us on Zoom and Facebook Live. So I think more than ever, the house show market is so crucial moving forward in the near future. I think clubs are going to be, we're not playing club shows, and they're all getting canceled. Festivals, at least for 2020, house shows are going to be, I think, the next step outside of the live streams.
I agree with all that. And go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, I agree. I think the only difficulty with house shows that I've found, is that they're different per region. Like wherever you had shows booked, each state is opening up at different times, and there's still people that are going to be a little hesitant. I do think house shows will be, like you were saying, Matt, will be the first thing and will come back. And that, 90% of my shows have all been house shows. So I don't really play a whole lot of venues, mainly because I don't want to go out to a venue and only make $100, so that's, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I just realized when I was making more money going into someone's living room, that just made sense to continue that. But I think in addition to, similar to what you had said, like the online shows, I thought that they would have dropped off financially by now, but they've really been very consistent financially too. So I think there's kind of a twofold of ways to, and Francisco, I know we're kind of sidelining the question that you asked initially, but I think the online presence and creating new fans through online presence, not just relying on your old fans or the fans you've had consistently, but creating new connections with new people and bringing more people in to your community and having that, that community feel, as Mark touched on, and how can you give back to other people, making that your main purpose in addition to booking house shows and kind of reframing the mindset around everything that we do, I see as being the most beneficial avenue to take.
All right, you've got to stop for a minute and tell us what a house show is and how much it costs.
And why have
you not? Yeah, why not?
It costs Like it costs like $2,000, and you just pay it like right to us. I'm just kidding. It doesn't cost that
You'll
much.
love it.
And I'll be sweet like a NASCAR fan.
You just play in a person's living room or on their patio or wherever. And
Let me give you the canned thing that I always do, which is just like when somebody reaches out, like, hey, love to have you for a home show sometime. You say like, yeah, that would be amazing, and then they'll ask you like when you have availability coming through. And so basically, a lot of us started playing them because if you had like a club show in Des Moines, a club show in Chicago, and you're like, all right, well, I got to bridge the gap between these two places. If you play a home show for somebody, you get to stay there for free, and they almost always booze you up and feed you for free. And like if they know that you're into like a specific thing, like I'm a big golfer, and so like I end up when I crash with somebody on the road, they'll be like, hey,
Take you golfing.
we
in
can
the
go
club.
golf in the morning if you want. And I'm always like, this is incredible that we get to do.
Or bourbon. Oh, I hear you like bourbon. We got a nice selection.
That's how we got you here.
That's right.
Yes.
The problem is bourbon. Bourbon at night is the opposite of golf in the morning.
And it's fun. I mean, it tends to be. It can be quite lucrative. I play them with my band. I almost always tour with my band, but we'll like strip it back, and like one of us will play like acoustic guitar, and our drummer will play with less hard sticks, and so it'll be more like volume appropriate.
It's usually like 30 to 50 folks.
Yeah.
Just people who love to entertain that also love live music, and their friends know that they love live music, and so they're either also down or they're at least like gonna play along for their friend's sake. And so you usually end up with a lot of people who do become like new supporters, and it's really cool. It's also a totally different market. Honestly, you could play Chicago, you could play Subterranean in Chicago, and then the next night play a home show, and nobody would could come to
Casey's
both.
home show.
Like you could never
Such a
you
good
could
home
do
show.
that in every city in America and not see the same people.
Yeah, you just have to be, cognizant of the fact that like a lot of the time you're playing while like your host is, cooking like meatballs and gravy in a crock pot, and the whole place smells like a Costco, and it doesn't feel like what you grew up,
But
watching rock and roll look like on
sometimes it
MTV.
is though. Sometimes you get somewhere and you're like, this
Depends
is
on the home
sick.
show.
Yeah,
Sometimes there's a
100%.
stage and lights.
Right.
But I would say that we can all, say that a majority of the hosts that we all continually play
Yeah.
are
Super
cruisers.
famous, and yeah.
So there's a thing, there's this boat cruise company called Six Man, and they host these music festival cruises. And a lot of the people that attend these cruises host home shows. I mean, for me, a majority of the hosts are either Rock Boat or Sail Across the Sun. I don't know if I would say it's safe to say that with you guys too.
I'm a NASCAR guy now.
NASCAR.
I've only
Sorry,
done
bro.
Rock Boat and Outlaw Country Cruise with Elizabeth Cook, and Outlaw Country Cruise like doesn't really have the community that
Sure.
Rock Boat.
Same with I did a Bon
Senses.
Jovi cruise, and they're like, "What is a home show?"
Right. It's because there's famous people on those two cruises, but the Rock Boat, they get people like us that are just
Yeah.
like famous adjacent
Hey, you're famous, bro.
to like those 7-year-olds on the
This is a
NASCAR.
great idea. Somebody needs to organize all the home shows.
Dude, and
They
people
have.
have that's
They
been a
tried
thing.
that?
Yeah, this guy
Yeah.
Fran Snyder down in Florida has a company, and there's a bunch of people who have attempted to, but the bottom line is like everybody who hosts a good home show will ask you who are some other people that I should look at, and then they ask you like personality wise, who are some other people I should look at, because it's your home.
Yeah.
And so like for the most part, people who host home shows aren't interested in just like, whoever. That's not how it is. It's like, I'm good doing all of this for you guys, but like I don't have a relationship with these other people, so we'll see if that's something I want to do or not. So that's kind of part of it too. It's really tough to organize it because finding people who are like, just put my name in the Rolodex and along with my address, and I'll just take any band regardless of what their message is or what their personalities are like.